November on a high note here at home at Center Ice Rink as they take on a fledgling program. It's the Motor City Rockers coming to town, looking to make it a clean sweep this weekend. The Thunder trying to make sure that does not happen. Hello and welcome, folks. Joined by Gary Schofield, I'm Tim Nolan. Happy to be with you. Happy Thanksgiving weekend to all of you. Enjoying time with family and friends at home. And, hey, we get to enjoy this game, and it's pretty cool looking at these two programs because you've got the Thunder in Season 3. You have Motor City in just their first season. It doesn't look like it second in the Continental Division.
Yeah, pretty amazing, to come out of the gates. Delaware Thunder fans understand what it's like to start a new program, but to find this team that's won 7 of their last 10, looking for a third straight win tonight, a lot of it's been the strength of their goaltending. Trevor Babin, who stopped 21 of 24 shots last night to get a victory. Thunder fans know him well from his time here last season. He's been loaned up to the SPHL tonight, so there'll be a new netminder in goal for Motor City. But what they've been able to do early in the year, pretty impressive at this point.
Absolutely, and you look at some of those players who are still here who make that happen. You take a look at the ice, folks. Look no further than a 9-year NHL veteran, Ian White, who played with a number of teams up in Canada, won a silver medal at Worlds with the Canadians, and it is just such a huge luxury. You got a player of that caliber at this level.
We'll talk about the experience factor for a lot of these young guys, but I think what it also speaks to is the fire that burns inside of an athlete. For somebody to play at that level for so long, to accomplish what he has on such a big stage, and then to play here in the Federal Prospects Hockey League for a team that is, just trying to find their footing, get their program underway, to have that kind of veteran leadership on the bench and on the ice at the same time is pretty priceless.
When you talk about veteran leadership, that's something the Thunder brought in last night, and it started with bringing in Ryan Marker, Magic Marker, back with the Thunder. A huge acquisition, Charlie Pence and company, up till 3 in the morning making that happen, and they did it for a player.
Well, and the Thunder faithful know him so very well. He scored 95 points in 40 games last year. He's averaged 2 points a game throughout his FPHL career. Pretty outstanding.
And we'll step aside as well. Hockey coming up right after this. Time for first period action here at Center Ice Rink in Harrington, Delaware. Tim Nolan with you alongside Gary Schofield. Now it's time to bring you folks over to the starting lineups, and we will begin with the visiting Motor City Rockers. And you take a look at, it's going to be a little different front line after Ross Bartlett suspended for his actions last evening. He will not be able to compete in this contest. So you look at that forward line, it'll still be Scott Koash and Declan Conway, and then we might have a new addition up top. It was Bartlett himself telling us he thinks it's going to be Brad Reeder. We'll see who it is. But on the defensive end, the aforementioned Ian White, and he is complemented by Dante Suffredini. And in goal, talked about previous netminder going up the SPHL. They now have Travis Ridgen in the goal. And on the other side, quickly for the Thunder, Alex Susi, Ryan Magic Marker, and Pierre-Luc Bellard. And then Eric Aganazov and Alex Macy, the two defensemen with McHale in the net for a second straight night. Ballard in the circle with Koash, and the Thunder win the opening faceoff. Motor City enters this one with 25 points. The Thunder 4 on the season, a win and a tie. Taking a team all the way to overtime. Eric Ogazov, one of a number
At a
of
time.
players from Russia brought in this season. We got a cool segment coming
Taking
up
a
for you
team all
folks
the way
at
to
the
overtime.
first intermission. We got to talk to the CEO, Charlie Penz of the Thunder. Just get a feel for what he thinks about this squad going into what is now season 3. And while Motor City having a fine start to its inaugural season, they founded the Rockers, who quickly have a 2-on-1 in on Cage, past McHale, and down the boards. Cycled across for Ian White. Gets it back. Walks in, slotted across, shot scored! Early goal getting the opening tally. It's Derek Makima. And the Swartz Creek, Michigan native puts the Rockers on top early.
You know, Tim, you talked about Ian White in the pregame and the experience that he has. What a beautiful give and go through the neutral zone. And then a shot that was blocked, but then wide open in the slot. Makima buries it to put Motor City on the board. 18:46 left in the first period, and this has kind of been the story of the Thunder's season. Barrages of shots early in games, falling behind and trying to find a way to dig out.
You talk about barrages of shots. You look at both netminders, whether it's Trevor Martin or Michael McHale. For both of these guys, their save percentage is sitting around 86, 87%, yet the goals against nearing the 6s.
Yeah, I mean, they're averaging giving up, over 40 shots per game. It's not a good recipe for winning hockey. Coach Santini knows that. They're working hard to try to win those puck battles and get coverage in their own zone to be tighter, and just up to this point, it hasn't worked out.
Casey Noyes tripped up, no call. That puck down into the trapezoid. Knocking it away momentarily, but winning the puck go the Rockers. Another shot in front and another goal. A rifle from the slot. That one put home by Tommy Cardinal, and the forward from Quebec City doubles the Motor City lead.
And you'll see when we get the replay on here, Mavali makes a great hit behind the net. That puck gets loose in the corner. Aloyan just can't get a stick on it. And next thing you know, Motor City's got a man sitting right in the slot, wide open shot. McHale has no chance.
Last night, competitive. 6-3, Motor City took the victory, but thus far, an ambush for the team coming in from Michigan, based in Fraser. You probably guess where the Motor City nickname comes from.
Just down the road from Detroit. And if you look at the makeup of Motor City, about 85% of their roster are Michigan native players. They've got a couple of guys from Wisconsin and Illinois, Makima from Alaska, and only 2 not from North America. You got 1 Russian on the team, and then you got 2 from Canada. So it's an interesting makeup of local talent, which I think probably endears them to the Motor City faithful back in Fraser.
And Mike Wynn, not to jump to assumptions, but if you're from Ann Arbor, it's a good chance that you had a very good day today. First real chance for the Thunder. Ballard down into the corner. Knocked free, and it comes the waiting stick. Nice tape-to-tape pass. Lambden pops it over. Koash dumps it off. Looking to cycle it back. Lambden. The Thunder take over.
It's a good defensive play by Oganezov there in the corner. But Marker trying to clear the zone. Can't do it. Motor City keeps it in.
Yeah, kept in the zone as well. Backhand pass to nowhere. Tracked down by Basie. Koash. And that time the puck is knocked out of the zone. That was Ryan Marker getting a stick in. Thompson. Going to a knee. The wrister stopped by McHale.
It's a really nice save by McHale, getting down to his knees. Thompson there all alone in the slot. But again, I mean, we're not even 3 minutes into this first period. Just way too easy for Motor City to get through the neutral zone, gain the blue line, setting themselves up. That's the 4th quality scoring chance of the game in the first 2:45, and I don't believe Delaware's registered a shot yet.
Yeah, aside from that dump in that was tracked down by Ballard, that has been it. Face-off win. Thrown back wide of Cage. Now the Thunder look to chase after. Into the slot. Misfire. Picked up by Weber. And these 5 will stay on for both sides. Momentum. Weber has it back. Corbin shot off the shoulder. And knocked away.
Beautiful setup there from Austin Weber, who gained the zone, got some depth, nice drop pass, and a good save. First test of the game for Ridgen.
Now a wrister, that one right into the stomach and gloved by McHale.
You know, and you mentioned the Thunder goaltenders, McHale in the net tonight. You know, you look at their stats and you think, oh, well, they've struggled this season. But again, it's the amount of chances and the struggles that the Thunder have had defensively. You know, even your best goaltender, when it's 2-on-1s, guys wide open in the slot, you know, you're going to struggle at times to come up with big save numbers.
Giveaway opportunity, but whistles.
Looks like we're going to get our first penalty of the game. This one, I think, is going to go against the Thunder, so Motor City's looking to go to the power play.
We'll see who ends up getting sent off. On the other end, quickly, looks like Bartlett's having all sorts of trouble in Harrington, Delaware. We are going to stay at even strength here. Bartlett's having all sorts of trouble because Scott Blake appears to be the starting goaltender for Motor City rather than Travis Ridgen, as you saw in that first save, the 36 on the shoulders. So Ridgen on the bench for the time being. Opposite goalie, McHale knocks that wide.
In Bartlett's defense, we did sort of press him into duty as the sports information director for the
He
Rockets.
did make a couple runs back and forth to the locker room, which you do appreciate. Shot knocked wide off the stick of Colton. Scott stops the puck and halts it for White. And now Conway takes his time with Susie pressuring. Two 2-0 Motor City, another attack. Spinning pass wide.
Good back check there by Susie to keep that pass from connecting, and now the Thunder will look to break out with Basie.
Basie with a head of steam. Keeps it in the zone. Now it's knocked away back into the Thunder end. Slotted across. Basie with no choice but to work that one back.
You see the difference. Motor City doing a good job blocking the passing lanes in their defensive zone, something the Thunder haven't been able to do early on.
Line drive off the thigh of Ballard. Another turnover right back to Motor City. Thompson with space. Good check inside to stop that. That was coming up, make the play. Aganazov. Stick check keeps it in the zone for Delaware. Now down the near boards. Thompson drops it off. No look shot. Gaudette still alive. McHale pounces on it and freezes the puck.
And again, another quality scoring chance. And for the second time, Motor City looks like what they're going to try to do is penetrate the zone, get deep in the circle, and look for those drop passes. That's the second time they've been able to get one on goal on McHale like that. Good glove save by Michael and able to cover up that second chance shot as well.
So McHale, after being relatively left out to dry, now it also looks like you got Trevor Martin heading in between the pipes for Delaware.
Kind of an interesting move. I'm sure maybe something happened to Michael maybe on that last save.
Michael McHale from Needham, Mass. Started every game after November 12th, a Connecticut College alum from 2018 to 2022. But Trevor Martin had been the starter before that, stands at 6'1", 185 pounds from Sherwood Park, Alberta. Face off for an initial chance for Martin. He can't stick that one too wide. Gafarov chasing it down, loose at the point. Thompson to the near boards, fighting with J.C. Moritz.
And
Across.
that's what Delaware needs to do more of, winning those puck battles along the boards. But now they've got to clear the zone. And with a head of steam, Regala's doing just that.
Dallas, Texas native gets spun down. That will be a penalty. They're going to get a hook on the inside, bringing Regala down to the ice. So power play opportunity for the Thunder.
A little bit of a spark there from Regala. He's one of the newer members of the Thunder. I believe just his 6th game in uniform tonight. But you saw a little burst of speed there through the neutral zone, something that was lacking through the first 5 minutes of this game. Sets the Thunder up with a chance on the man advantage.
On the power play this season, the Thunder, 19% conversion rate.
They did put 2 in last night on the power play. The addition of Ryan Marker is going to be huge for their specialty teams as well. He's a sniper. He'll look to set himself up into the right-hand circle because he's that right-hand shot. So watch for rebounds and passes through the slot, and then work just like that as well.
Right on cue, Gary, speeding through the zone and forces a quick cover-up from Blake.
You know, when Charlie Penn says that he's basically a defensive mismatch every time he's on the ice, he's right. He's got great puck handling skills, speed to burn, especially at this level, and you'll often see him try to go coast to coast just like he did there, setting up the first scoring chance of the game for Delaware.
Charlie Penn says of Marker, Ryan is a scoring threat every time he steps on the ice. He's been just that for Delaware. Marker across, and Ballard loose in front. And nearly a fortunate goal for the Thunder. It's a nice kick save and reaction by Scott Blake.
Inches away from putting the Thunder on the board. Great setup from the point there as well.
Gaffar with a head of steam. Can't but will his way all the way into the zone. Another opportunity to clear for the Rockers.
They're just unable to get themselves set up for their power play. Motor City doing a good job, again, defending those passing lanes, getting a couple of clears here early in the man advantage where we're down to 55 seconds.
Great stick work that time by Cade Lambden to knock that pass away.
Looks like they'll go to the second unit now for Delaware. Susie.
Susie gets on Regala, some fresh legs as well.
It'll be interesting to see, too. You see Marker still on the ice as well. I have a feeling he's going to log a lot of minutes tonight. Should have fairly fresh legs. Hasn't played all season long, although he has kept himself in good shape.
That shot right into the stomach of Blake. Couple big saves early. Bit of a homecoming for Scott Blake as well from Chesapeake, Virginia. Knocked back to the point, kept in the zone by Ballard. Now Regala, give and go. Gafarov wide.
Power play comes to an end. They weren't able to cash in there, but at least at the end, set up a couple of good scoring chances as things seem to be settling down with 12 minutes to go.
Chris Corrigan's been a real spark for the Thunder. He moves on into the zone, checked into the goalie, puck loose in front. Still loose, it knocks into the net. And now we've got a tussle in front. Gloves off, and here we go. A dog pile behind the goal.
I'm not 100% sure who's at the bottom of that pile, but it's kind of a no-no after the whistle. He sort of threw the puck in the net. No team's going to take kindly to that. Vaughn Clouston in on the action there for Motor City. As we see the pile come out, that was Gafarov that was at the bottom of it for Delaware.
It looked like initially walking on goal was Chris Corrigan, the forward. He was knocked into Blake, and then the pileup ensued.
It'll be interesting to see how they sort this out. What penalties will be called, if the Thunder will get one as well. Although Corrigan seemed to be mainly on the receiving end of those those punches from Motor City, so they could end up here on the man advantage again.
It's also interesting to note that at the same time that whistle blew, the puck was going bar down.
It's a difficult scenario, you know, when you've got 4 or 5 guys in the crease like that. You know, once the ref loses sight of the puck, he's going to blow the whistle, whether it's actually loose or not. And I think maybe that was Corrigan's point, is, you know, the puck's right here kind of thing.
Plenty to sort out for the officials as we near 8 minutes gone by. 2 very quick goals for Motor City, both of which coming just beyond 60 minutes of action, 60 seconds of action, I should say, that fast.
And it certainly seems that the Thunder have sort of, you know, kind of didn't survive the early barrage. They're down 2-0, but have sort of settled in at this point. A little tighter in the D zone. So it does appear that there's going to be coincidental minors, so we're going to play 4-on-4 for 2 minutes.
Yeah, 4-on-4 action. Those sent to the box. On the side of the Thunder, it's Chris Corrigan. And then the other side, Vaughn Clouston of Motor City. Maybe the spacing helps the Thunder. Wrister glove by Blake.
That's what the Thunder are looking forward to, pairing Ryan Marker with Alex Susi. You saw Susi with a nice backhand pass, and that's where Marker lives, at the top of the slot. And that quick release, great glove save there for Motor City.
Susi tied with Gafarov and Wilson for the team lead, 11 points. Wilson sick, unable to play. And that's remedied by Marker. Basie behind goal.
On that play, too, you know, Marker's a playmaker. Getting Basie involved, who's not normally an offensive defenseman.
Track down Marker, draws the double. Rister in front, still loose. Susi cannot find the puck, and it's knocked beyond the zone.
Another good scoring chance, though. Susi setting up a good screen, just couldn't get that deflection on net.
Good back check by Conway. Martin dropped it off to no one, able to be tracked down. Another good heads-up play by Eric Aganazov. Marker with a head of steam. From the slot, short angle try. Easily collected.
A little more open space in 4-on-4. He went 1-on-3 there. Still was able to get a shot on goal.
Suffredini had a goal last evening. Back to Cross. Give and go with White. Makima a goal already.
Smart decision there to pull back and get a cleaner escape there by Ballard.
That time, though, Ballard goes full head of steam into 3 defenders, knocked down. Shot in front. White couldn't get enough on it.
Pass just a little too far out in front for Ian to get a quality shot off there. Good hustle by Ballard to play off the icing for Delaware.
Blake content to drop that beyond his own goal. White with numbers. In front, slotted across, too far. Passing up the boards, looking for Marker, but it's out of his reach. In transition, Vanderwill. That one finds Corrigan, just released from the box as the 4-on-4 returns us to even strength. Koash knocks it ahead, looking for Thompson. Moritz there. Played his college days at Newman University. Loose puck in front, unable to be knocked down initially. The Rockers do well to keep it in the zone before it's knocked away.
That's a play, of course, you'd rather see Moritz throw that up the boards instead of in front of his own net. Luckily, Delaware escapes without any further damage.
Nice play along the boards. Sets up numbers. Weber, Marker. Marker the wrister, pops off the glove and over the bar. Corrigan tracks it down. Drops off for Basie. Stolen away. Breakout opportunity for Motor City. Colton, Conway calling for it. Slapper patted wide.
Didn't get enough mustard on that one-timer.
Conway looking for numbers behind the goal. Tapping the boards, finds Marker. Conway just lofts it into the zone, and both teams change. Far on. Corrigan tried to dump it in. It was stolen.
Again, Ian White defending his own blue line with a quick glove there. Now sets Motor City up with possession, but Delaware with the takeaway.
Loose in front. Possession at a premium right now. Still loose in front. No one able to find a puck. Rister, Martin was screened, but it was deflected. In the slot. Good poke check by Corrigan. Off the boards to Weber. Tried an angle, numbers to the backside. Track down there, Casey Noyes. White showing off that patient experience. 38-year-old righty. Played with the Maple Leafs from 2005 to 2009. And he set up an attack here. Backhander through the 5-hole, but Martin able to stop it before going over the goal line.
Got just enough of it with the blocker to knock it in between his pads, but it's never a good feeling when you look at your goaltender and he doesn't know where the puck is. Good news for the Delaware Thunder, right between the pads, not in the net, and with 6:52 to play, still 2-0.
So after the 2 early tallies, Thunder defense tightening up, the offense starting to pick up as well to bring an end to that point on White after Toronto played with Calgary from 2009 to 2011, the San Jose Sharks 2010-2011, and then the Red Wings to cap off his NHL career.
And to think his last NHL game was nearly 10 years ago. And that, again, just talks to, the passion that a lot of these players have, an opportunity to continue to lace them up, to play competitively, and what he's doing to not only feed that for himself as an athlete, but for these young guys that are just trying to find their way. Imagine some of the stories that get told on the bus ride from here back to Michigan.
And conversely, the other side, the amount of pride that comes with guys who talk about going toe-to-toe with future and former NHL players. An opportunity to sit down with Alex Basie. You'll catch that in the next episode of Ringside on Wednesday. Basie talking about some of his best fights. Granted, he's Delaware's enforcer. You got a chance to catch up with last night's game. You saw him dust it up once more. Basie said some of his best fights were against current NHL players.
Might be the best chance of the night so far. That was Artur Aloyan, who had himself set up in the slot. Beautiful feed. But again, got to give credit to Scott Blake. He hasn't been tested a lot here in the first period, but a couple of good glove saves, uses the blocker to kick that one out of play, and with 6:28 to go, he's keeping Delaware off the board.
Boy, and one of the younger guys on the squad, that's what Lou Santini told us. Koash. Away to Conway. Nifty dangles. Checked, though, by Moritz. Moritz, the Philly native, fights his way along the boards.
Great work in the corner there by JC. Get that puck to the neutral zone. Marker, though, gives it away.
Susie left in pursuit. Martin's turn to control.
Certainly much better coverage for Delaware over the last 10 minutes in their own zone.
Free and work back to the point. Still loose. And great work by Marker to apply some pressure up top at the point on Josh Colton. Pass to nowhere, and they'll let it run for the first icing. No icing given, and we play on.
Not sure why they didn't call icing there. That was pretty clear. Break for Delaware, see if they can take advantage.
Blake purposely let it run. A misfire on the attempted check. Some nice footwork by Aganazov to get out of the way on the far boards. Chance for Marker. Deflected wide, still free. Basie from the point. Nice stick save initially. It's free behind the cage.
Good shot from the point by Basie. Good pressure in front from Corgan. Got a deflection, just not on net, but definitely had Blake off balance.
Aganazov drops off for Basie. Wristed up ahead, Gafarov. To the point, Basie. Slap shot. Still Thunder have it. Try the near boards with Brennan. Cardinal a goal already. Away in transition. Evades Brennan. Knocks it off the pad of Martin. Calmly saving that for the Thunder. Under 4 to play in period number 1. First 2 goals scored in the first 2 minutes. Since then, it's been a stalemate. Aloyan. Sharp angle wrister. That time, Scott Blake opts to put this game on ice.
Saw it all the way. Good pressure, though, by Delaware here in the last couple of minutes. Have created a couple of scoring chances on Blake. With no screen there, though, that's a save that 99% of the time professional goaltender is going to make. But it does get you the offensive zone draw My guess would be after a short break here, you're going to see Ryan Marker set up right at the top of the circle, hope for that face-off win and a quick one-timer to try to get Delaware on the board.
Scott Blake went to Liberty from 2015 to 2018. He's got FPHL experience with the Danville Dashers, Watertown Wolves, and Port Huron. Look at just how well the Rockers have done in season number 1 out in Michigan. Second to only Columbus in the Continental Division. Ahead of Carolina, Port Huron, and Mississippi, down at the bottom with 8 points.
I mean, you can't say enough about how impressive that is. You know, you're starting from scratch. You're bringing these players in, a lot of them with FPHL experience with other teams. And to get them to gel the way that they have, and we'll probably say Ian White's name 1,000 times tonight, but I would imagine, he's got a ton to do with their early season success. Even though necessarily the points don't say so, on his stat sheet, what he brings to the table leadership-wise is invaluable.
Brennan forced to retreat. Sets up the Thunder nicely. Marker one-on-one. Another sharp angle try. Unable to be gloved that time by Blake. Try the other side with Susi. The board's looking for Marker too far. Moritz for Regala. Bellard. Back the other way go the Rockers. Nice move by Conway. Wrister, sharp angle. That will be stopped by the keeper. So Martin comes in and thus far has stopped the bleeding.
Declan Conway is a perfect example of player with FHL experience. 3 years ago had a 29-goal season with the Menor Icebreakers, who are no longer around anymore. So you add him, his scoring ability. You saw the move he made around the defenseman to get a quick shot off there on Martin. Great save.
A lot of back checking there on the far boards. To the point, wrist shot, gloved by Martin. Danny Vanderweel had some velocity behind it. Martin did well to not take any chances and glove it.
Good shot from the point. Not a lot of traffic in front. Martin was able to see it all the way and show off his glove work.
A lot of back checking there on the far boards. They're going to banish
to the point, wrist shot, gloved by Martin.
Enter Cardinal. Danny Vanderweel had some velocity behind it. Martin did well to not take any chances and glove it.
Good shot from the point. Not a lot of traffic in front. Martin was able to see it all the way.
Stoppage as that puck was knocked up into the Delaware Thunder bench.
Almost right into the grill of Brendan.
A lot of back checking there on the far boards.
They're going to banish
to the point, wrist shot, gloved by Martin.
And it's a harrowing feeling when the puck's coming your way and you're not expecting it.
Doing change rate. Well, they do a great job here at Center Ice Arena. You don't have to worry about that if you're a spectator. But, of course, if you're the closest to the action, the player, you have the least protection.
Without question.
Turnover in the defensive zone. You've seen a couple times already. Motor City has tried just turning with the puck. Got to be a coaching point of emphasis. Just looking to cause havoc against this Delaware Thunder back end. Chased down by Vanderweel. A giveaway. Ballard a chance with a wrister. And Blake does not want to take any chances. He squeezes it.
Well, you see Ballard kind of shaking his wrist there. Not sure if something happened to him. Certainly didn't get as much on that shot as he would have liked. But great work in the zone, forcing that turnover, setting Delaware up with a chance.
Talked about a coaching point possibly for Motor City on the other side for Delaware. A lot of glove side shots so far against Blake.
Yeah, I almost wonder if that's in the scouting report. Everything's high into the glove side. If they've seen something, previous video from him that shows he's susceptible to those shots, but so far he stood tall.
Conway can really fly down the ice. No look slapper. Still loose in front. Martin protecting his own cage. tied up in behind. Conway comes away with it, knocked across, and a breakout opportunity. Marker one-on-one with Blake. The deke saved away Blake. With a minute to play in the first period, a save of the game already.
Absolutely phenomenal work. Marker did the double deke and tried to go to the backhand. Just a beautiful stick save by Blake. Absolutely save of the night.
Marker comes to the Delaware bench, licking his lips, shaking his head. That's the kind of opportunities you bring in a goal scorer for. But Blake up to the task once again.
Yeah, and the types of opportunities that he doesn't miss very often. So he's definitely kicking himself on that. But that's the kind of offense that he brings to the table for the Thunder.
Quick turn comes free towards Weber. Controlled. Cardinal loses it. Desperation trip and another trip to the box for the Rockers.
33 seconds left on the clock here in the first period. Of course, Delaware 0 for 1 on the power play thus far tonight. They had trouble getting set up in the first minute or so of that man advantage, but then in the last 30 seconds, they brought the second unit in along with Marker and were able to generate a couple of chances. They'll look to pressure here, see if they can't get one on the board before intermission.
Yeah, odd man advantages have been no sure thing for Delaware. 19% conversion rate, a man up.
And important to win faceoffs, especially when you're on the power play. Definitely Motor City's getting the better of that tonight.
Makimo at speed and sticked away. Marker rocketing back down the ice.
It's a good play at the blue line to trip Marker up a bit. Delaware would have been offside if they didn't retreat.
That puck sent down, and that will likely do it for first period action. 2 quick goals, one by Makima and another by Cardinal. At Motor City up early, 2-0 through a period of play. We got so much to show you. We're going to have highlights and a very special interview with the CEO of the Thunder, Charlie Penz, coming up in just a moment here on the Delmarva Sports Network. Whew. All right, do we have the interview ready? Cool. All right, so what I'll do is I would bring it to the ice and I'll talk a little bit, and then I would say I just toss to it and then come back, and Gary and I will just banter a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. So how in God's green earth are we going to do ice rink here in Harrington, Delaware? The Thunder Last night, losing 6-3 to Motor City, but right now, down just 2-0, and it was really for the better part of the period, 0-0. Both defenses, both goalies, that is, going at it, and Trevor Martin and Scott Blake, those two had a very fine first period.
Without question. I mean, Michael McHale got the early hook after Motor City scored on 2 of their first 4 shots within the first 2 minutes of the game. But as you mentioned, Delaware defense tightened up, and offensively they started really generating some chances, really pushed by the athleticism and the speed of Ryan Marker. But Scott Blake has been standing on his head at times. That breakaway save that he had on Ryan Marker there late in the period was phenomenal, about as good as you'll see, not just at this level, but in hockey, period, to keep it a 2-0 game. But it's been an entertaining game thus far.
So Lou Santini not afraid to press a couple buttons, change things up for the Thunder. The early hook for McHale brings in Martin, and someone else who is pushing his fingers down on the dial and wants this program to take the next step. It is the CEO, Charlie Penz, and we had the opportunity to talk to Charlie a little bit before the game. We'll give you folks a little inside look at that interview that we had pregame. Video folks, Tim Nolan back with you here at Center Ice Rink, and I'm now joined by Charlie Penz, the CEO of the Delaware Thunder. Charlie, first of all, thank you for taking some time before this match.
It's good to be here. We're ready for tonight.
Awesome. Charlie, first thing I want to get through is it's been a lot of sleepless nights for you. You're constantly retooling this roster, most recently bringing Ryan Magic Marker back. What was that like?
Well, it was a lengthy process, and we were here till early morning hours, but we got it done, and we're happy to have Ryan back here where he belongs, where he started his career in Delaware. When we started in 2019, was one of our first players that we brought in.
What is this such a key element about in this particular league, constantly looking over the roster and looking to make adjustments?
You have to adjust constantly. You have players that have personal issues, they get call-ups, injuries, so you have to always think ahead. What's the next move? What's the next move? So in my office, you'll see a depth chart, and it's pretty extensive. It's a jigsaw puzzle for us. We're always looking for that next piece, and we're not there yet. We're going to be there soon.
And you look on the other side in Motor City, first year for that organization. What have you seen from how they've developed a squad this good so quickly?
They've got great management, a very good team. They're located in a great hockey area. I knew they were going to be tough, very well coached, and they're solid from the goal out.
For you, in now season 3, year 4, what are some of the things that you've seen really made an impression upon you about building a hockey program at the pro level?
Well, a lot of people doubted the success here in the Delmarva region, in particular in Harrington, Delaware, and I'm one of those guys, if you say it can't happen, we're going to make it happen. So the fans have been fantastic. The support from the community has been wonderful, and I think we're just hitting our stride now.
You talk about that fan engagement. You got any other things that you're planning for this season and beyond to incorporate the fans, maybe some nights that you were talking about?
Yeah, we just added some things. We're going to have a skate with the team after one of the games. We're going to have a meet and greet here soon. And then, of course, we added ALS night, and we added St. Patty's night, which is going to be fun, and we added autism night. So above and beyond cancer awareness night, first responders night, and military appreciation night, we're adding those.
That's terrific. Charlie, what is next for the Delaware Thunder and all these changes you're constantly making?
Playoffs. We have to make the playoffs. It's year 3. We have to make the playoffs, and that is our goal.
What are some of the things you can do to make it happen? I know the signing of Marker. You got any other things on your mind?
We have another player that we're working on bringing in the next 4 to 5 days. I have 2 coming over from Europe, and we get our #1 goalie back here soon. Watch out. We're going to be ready. That's awesome. You talk about bringing some players from Europe. You got plenty of guys, a couple north of the border, a number in Russia, one from Belarus, one from Kazakhstan. What's that whole influx like? It's kind of unique, and it's interesting. I mean, it's a melting pot in our locker room, but they all speak the same language, hockey. Lastly, you're now here in year 4 with the Thunder. What is the most fulfilling part for you, just overseeing this whole organization? The growth with the fans, the growth with our corporate partners, the growth with DSN. We just signed on with you guys now for this year, and just growth overall. It's been amazing, it really has. Awesome. This is Charlie Penz. Charlie, thank you so much for the time, and we will have more highlights coming up after this.
You heard the man. Playoffs. It's one of the things that he wants to take care of, and it kind of ties in with everything that he's done in terms of transactions, bringing in Marker, constantly overchanging the roster, and also doing all these different things for the fans. And, you talked about a little bit there in that first period how he wants to prove that Delaware Thunder professional hockey here in the first state is viable, and thus far seems to be.
Without a doubt. And I remember talking to Charlie when the announcement was made that professional hockey was coming to Delaware, and there were a lot of naysayers in this area. Kent County, Delaware is not going to support a professional hockey team. Well, don't tell that to the Thunder Pack, because folks came out in droves that first season, and it's such a shame because in that first year, they get off to a very slow start. They struggled. But then after the new year, they really started to turn their year around. They had made some acquisitions. There was a young man by the name of Darius Davidson that had joined this team that provided a spark, and all of a sudden they were winning games, and then COVID happened, and the whole season got shut down. And then Charlie made the difficult decision that because people wouldn't be allowed to come into the center ice rink, that they decided to take another pause when the FHL came back for a shortened season in that 2021 year. So last year they came back. The fans came back. So any of those doubters at this point have been proven wrong that, if you build it, they will come. Now, as you mentioned, and he said, the next part, let's get the winning on the ice happening so the folks that have been with him from the beginning will have more to cheer about in the spring.
And you look at the Rockers now, and they're manned right now by Gordy Brown, the head coach. He's a Michigan native, spent the last 15 years in coaching and scouting for junior college and pro programs. He sent Colin Bellick on to the Manitoba Moose, player he sent to the AHL. And it just seems as though, you got Ian White on your roster. It seems like this is another franchise that is run right. Sure, Thunder might not have seen the points dividends already, but you look at Motor City, and it seems like everything has come together so quickly in year one.
Well, they've got very talented players first and foremost, and great leadership, not just from the head coach, as you mentioned, but we've talked about Ian White tonight. But you talk about other guys like Declan Conway that's been around the league for a while. Ross Bartlett, we don't have a chance to see him tonight because he's serving that suspension, but he has brought some athleticism and obviously great scoring prowess to that team. But, they've got some depth in scoring. Josh Colton, who's a defenseman from Los Angeles, 10 assists on the year and second in the team in points total. Brad Ritter, Scott Koash, who we've seen get a couple of early chances. So it starts with a foundation which is built by the head coach and the veteran leadership, but you have to have that talent to supplement that leadership, and so far it's been working well for them.
We talked about kind of a Wally Pipp situation. Some of those guys stepping up right now for either side. You've got the leading goal scorer for Motor City out, and Ross Bartlett suspended, and on the other side, Houston Wilson sick. He is out right now, so opportunities for others. Thus far, it's been seized early on. Cardinal a goal, Makima as well to start the scoring, but everybody else really tightened on after that. We're going to talk to you folks about some second period adjustments. We are just around 7 and change to go before we get back to the action on the ice. We got more on the Intermission Report coming up on the Delmarva Sports Network. PTA time. There are people getting up on their feet. Now, this venue holds about, 700 is a sellout, but feels like 700,000. You get enough people in here with the right atmosphere and the right night, and Delaware Thunder, it looks like that viable hockey franchise that Charlie Pence has talked about.
Well, and that's sort of been the disappointing thing in the first 20 minutes. There hasn't been a ton for the Thunder Pack to cheer about, which is one of the fan groups here in the Thunderdome. So you were right. It does rock when Basie's throwing hands and Marker's scoring goals, and we'll feel this press box shaking once the Thunder faithful get a little bit more to cheer about. The Thunder tried to pick it up there in the second half of the first period, certainly generated some more scoring chances. They were outshot 5-0 through the first 5 minutes of that first period. At the end of the period, it's 13-12. So definitely kind of balanced things out there as the first period went on. But certainly looking for more to cheer about here as we get ready for period number 2.
A lot of breakouts. Those shots started to even up. Marker, a number of shots all really from that right slot, nearing in on Blake and goal. A couple opportunities. Shots taken by Ballard. You also saw some shots on goal by Gaffarov. But again, really from the same spot to a similar location, all going high glove side. What kinds of things would you like to see from the Thunder offense in the second?
Well, I'd like to see more traffic in front. A lot of those shots, although high glove side, which apparently they believe is a weakness for Blake Scott, there's not a lot of traffic in front. So professional goaltenders are going to make those saves more often than not. So I'd like to see more traffic in front of Blake. But basically, they've done a really nice job, I think, of working into the zone, setting themselves up in scoring opportunities, scoring positions, so they can continue that. They did a much better job breaking out of their own zone in the second half of the first period than they did in the first. I think if you're Motor City, I think you continue to do more of the same. You're not getting stood up at the blue line. You're winning the puck battles deep in the corners against the Delaware defensemen, which is setting up the cycle game for Motor City. So I think they'll just continue to try to work that angle. Drop passes were a big part of their offense there in the first period as well. Delaware's got to watch out for that.
Also, reminder, the Thunder are the beneficiaries of starting this period with a penalty in their favor. That will be back to the power play with Cardinal in the box. And we will have second period action coming up as this intermission comes to a close. Just 2 and change to go. And on the other side of these messages, you will see second period action between the Motor City Rockers and your Delaware Thunder coming up in just a moment. That was pretty in sync.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I would, even if this doesn't get resolved, I would take the chance of doing replays in that second period, guys, because I'm looking at the laptop the lady has open to us to the right, and it was pretty good. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that for the
So this is like real time, right?
Cardinal remains in the box. Makima checking marker. Thunder try the near boards. Gafarov. Susi to his left, works it back. Give and go with Gafarov. Nears the slot. Glove save, Blake. Content to hold on to it.
First time tonight they've got the power play umbrella set up. Susi was providing a screen initially, but Gafarov waited for him to bail out from in front of the net to take that shot. And again, it's an easy glove save for Blake Scott.
Face-off Gaudette going up against Ballard. Meanwhile, this penalty kill for Motor City. Dump off after dump off back into the Thunder zone. Weber leaves off Ballard. Looking for Susi, who gets there. Wasn't able to stop it. Official in the way. Possession stays with the Thunder. Wrister in from marker. That butterfly is into the stomach.
Much more difficult save than it appeared because, again, Susi providing a great screen there. But, again, shots high. It'd be interesting to see if maybe they try to change tactics here, try to keep some pucks on the ice as they send them towards the Motor City netminder, because everything waist high and above he's been able to take care of.
Corrigan against Koash. At the point, Aloyan. Back Corrigan. Cross-ice pass. Shot. Just missed. Exasperated looks down the bench from the Thunder. Regala is not going to get a better look than that from the opposite slot.
He's not wide open on a beautiful feed, and it just sent it a touch too high, missing that open net that would have got the Thunder within one.
10 seconds remains on the power play. Corrigan sprawls out. Regala guarding those boards, but he lets it go by. Tough shift for the Dallas, Texas native. Power play over. Loyan up for Corrigan, gets it back. Slotted across, and Blake does well to knock that just past the post. Bouncer loose. Track down Amanatitis. Goes for Regala. Corrals that one and knocks it onto Corrigan. Cycle back far boards Amanatitis. Giveaway. Regala does well. Now the break is on for Motor City. Initial check gives way for Corrigan. No numbers, Amanatitis just forced to dump it off. Loyan in pursuit. Back the other way go the Rockers.
Definitely a much better start to this period for Delaware than the first. They've controlled the puck well. They've pressured the zone. A couple of scoring chances on that power play. Keep themselves down by just 2.
Brennan dumps it into the zone before a change. Two goals in the first 2 minutes. And since then, the Thunder started playing. That time we will see icing called, so the Thunder will have a face-off deep in the zone of Motor City.
And again, they've done a much better job. We've talked about the first 5 minutes of this game, how Motor City was through the neutral zone, deep penetration in the offensive zone with little resistance. Since then, Delaware has tightened up extremely well, made things difficult on the Rockers and forcing the icing there.
Back check from Basie. Susi does well to track down the loose change. Cardinal fresh out of the box, fighting for it in the near boards. Susi, not much chance to break out. But now a slip, a giveaway right to marker. Tried to knock it back for Ballard. Basie draws the double. Aganazov on the far boards. Marker with space, give and go. Another shot miss high from Delaware.
Ryan Marker with his head on his hands because he knows he set up an easy goal right there for Austin Weber, and Weber just put too much air under that puck, trying to get it top shelf, anticipating that Blake was going to get that pad across. You see it on the replay here, just a little too high for the second time this period. What should have been an easy goal goes into the netting.
First it was Corgan who just won that faceoff for Delaware. Trying to find Regala who missed. That time Weber can't make good and give an assist to Marker.
And as good as this period has started for Delaware, still awful quiet in the stands, even though they've dominated the first 4.5 minutes.
Aside from some intermittent vuvuzelas off to the far side of center ice rink, that's about all you've heard thus far.
That would be the venerable Thunder pack blowing on those makeshift horns.
World Cup's in season, it's the spirit. Moritz's pairing gets on. That's knocked off a stick of Motor City. Face-off will stay in this neck of the woods.
Seems like such a simple thing, but on that play, Corgan set up at the red line. Beautiful breakout play to set them up with a chance. Unfortunately, a deflected shot goes into the, again, not the netting you want the puck to be in if you're in the Thunder, but you get another offensive zone draw, and we'll see if Casey Noyes can win this one for another chance.
Give credit to head coach Lou Santini of the Delaware Thunder, because you've got all these different moving parts. Marker, that deal gets signed last night. He comes back for this game, but you look at some of these names popping in, popping out, and he's got the pairings playing well. A chance for Koash. That's knocked away by Martin.
Yeah, good work by 88 there for Motor City. Koash, working from the near boards to just kind of walk his way into the slot and get a shot that was deflected out of play. So not technically a save there for Martin. But again, I can't tell you enough how impressed I am with the way Delaware's come out in the second period. And you mentioned, the work from Coach Santini. We didn't see Titus very much in the first period. He's had 2 shifts already here in the second period. We haven't seen Brendan O'Reilly on the ice. We didn't see Ballard a whole lot in the first period. So it definitely seems to be rolling more lines and maybe getting a little bit more comfortable trying to figure out how to work Ryan Marker into his existing system.
Breaking into a 12-round boxing match. That one certainly went those 5 minutes, certainly going to the Thunder. Fortunately, in this sport, that does not get reflected on the scoreboard. But again, the chances there. Do you look at those as missed opportunities or the start of something? That remains to be seen. Another face-off win for the home team. Aloyan on the breakout. Cannot catch up to that puck. And it'll go all the way down for icing.
Man, just a missed opportunity there. Titus tried to play off the boards just a little bit too far out in front of Aloyan. Leads to the icing, but it looks like to me at this point Delaware's got the step on Motor City, which is interesting because the Thunder playing their 3rd game in 4 nights. You oftentimes will see fatigue become a factor, especially for the road team on these back-to-back nights. We'll see if that plays into Delaware's hands going forward.
Brennan cleaning up on the boards. A big check at center ice as Casey Noyes taking a spill. Toss back up. O'Reilly lost track of that puck. It forces Martin out of his goal. Giveaway, White. Runs into his own man. Tripped up. The puck helped out. Breakout for the Thunder. Titus. Wrister into the pad. Blake does well to protect the 5-hole. Counter opportunity for Motor City. In transition, Cardinal. Sticked away Martin. Still loose in front. Giveaway on the doorstep. Huge poke check made by Aganazov.
Vanderweel with a great opportunity there, but then another giveaway.
Thunder having real trouble now just clearing the zone. Chance for Thompson. He thought about a Michigan there momentarily. We're working it back. Slap shot into the pad. Ballard absorbs the hit and stands up Thompson. That'll get the crowd at center ice rink to its feet momentarily.
They certainly love the physicality that the Thunder bring. And icing there will kind of let Delaware catch their breath. But interesting, on the last chance you saw for the Thunder, Amonatitis did finally go low. And I did think it took Blake Scott a little bit by surprise. He was able to get a pad on it. And Motor City was able to clear and set up a chance for themselves the opposite way. But with 13-11 to go here in the second period, despite Motor City's run there over the last minute, Delaware certainly has stepped up their game, even though they continue to trail 2-0.
A little handcuff there on Blake in the previous shot, expecting the fastball high, and got handcuffed there.
Faceoffs have been in Delaware's favor in the second period, an important one here for Ballard.
Ballard has been strong. So has Koash. It goes to Pierre-Luc Ballard. Good poke check by Susi to keep it alive. Marker with numbers. Defers to Ballard. I'll tell you what, you're missing Houston Wilson, who's tied for the lead in goals, but the way this current top line is playing, they look awfully good skating together in Marker, Susi, and Ballard.
Well, and that's the key, too, because then you can turn a second line into a scoring line for this team, which they've lacked. So
knocked away in front. Susi tips home the rebound. Marker just does well to get pucks on net. Trouble again low for Blake, and Susi taps it home to half the lead.
And we talked about traffic in front, and this is just kind of a bouncing puck that gets lifted in the air. It falls into the goal mouth, and Susi's the beneficiary and is able to knock it home and get the Thunder on the board and cut the lead to 1.
We'll move over Dennis Gafarov and Houston Wilson. Now a leading point getter on this squad is Alex Susi, up to 12 with the goal. Now a giveaway. White unable to catch up to it. Corgan there first. On the backboards, but a great back check by Ian White. Giveaway Gafarov. Corgan just gets out of the zone to prevent offsides. Up high, and this time with two hands, Blake gloves it into his stomach.
Excellent job by the Thunder in the neutral zone. Gafarov with that interception. What were easy breakouts for Motor City early in the first period have become more and more difficult. Coach Santini has got his guys defending the neutral zone at a much better positioning here in the second period, and it's shown.
Thunder dominating the opportunities in period number 2. A couple open net shots missed, and then a rebound tapped home by Susi. Making now 2-1 Motor City. And if you thought the Thunder were flying around initially, they've really picked up the pace. And now a breakout, Ballard and Susi. Wrister Susi scores again! The captain, in a matter of minutes, turns a 2-0 deficit to a tie game.
Ryan Marker showing his work in the defensive zone, just lifting that puck to the neutral zone. Ballard picks it off as Motor City tries to clear 2-on-1 with Susi. He goes low to the blocker side, doesn't miss, and we're tied at 2.
2 goals for Alex Susi, the co-captain from New Brunswick. Return to the sport of professional hockey, because frankly he said he was just in good shape during the pandemic and his agent thought he should give it a go. And now at the spry age of 35, he's got the Thunder even. Initial shot, sharp angle try, another big stop by Martin.
It's a great save in front on a backhand chance from Koash.
It's Koash who keeps it alive. Weber overskates. And now he's set up nicely.
It's Great stick work by Gafarov to clear the zone there. Austin Weber nearly got to that loose puck. Would have had another odd man chance.
Corrigan knifes up the middle. Now tries the near boards. Sharp angle, wrister. And after Blake was so solid in period number 1, really starting to think about every single shot from Delaware.
Really like that play there by Corrigan. He goes end to end with speed. Tough angle shot there, but right from that spot, you're kind of just hoping for a rebound. Delaware had two offensive players following in. As you see on the replay here, Corrigan down the right side, hoping for a rebound. You saw 2 Delaware Thunder men in front that would have had a chance. That's a good job by Blake to keep that from happening.
Sets up a breakout with Clouston. Offsides warning. That's why you saw no member of the Rockers touch that puck in the zone. Another breakout. Wrister into the chest of the goalie Blake. Puck trickles over the skate of O'Reilly. Brennan does well to back him up. In tight for Delaware. Manatitis fighting for it. Brennan giving chase. Still loose in front. Again, some great forechecking by Delaware. Thunder unable to clear the zone. 2-on-1 opportunity. Sprawling play made by O'Reilly. Halts the 2-on-1. Thunder get numbers back. Behind goal. No one home on the opposite side to receive that pass from Gaudette. And the Thunder will happily trade an icing to clear the zone.
Yeah, I mean, give Motor City a ton of credit. They were able to keep that puck in for nearly 2 minutes. Delaware had a couple of chances. Amonatitis a bit unlucky, kind of overskated on that last play that set Gaudette up with that wraparound chance. Trevor Martin, though, standing tall, no rebounds, no traffic in front. And a lot of that's just been kept to the outside. Even though they had a lot of zone time, not a lot of quality chances that came of it other than tiring out that line for Delaware.
Tell you what, Alex Susi, keep playing until you're 45 years old. Gets back into the game, and he has single-handedly turned this entire contest around for Delaware.
The interesting thing about him, my memory serves me correctly, he told you that he learned to speak English by playing hockey, correct?
Blue line, icing, those were the first words, and it all kind of morphed from there.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive what sports is able to do, not just from an athletic standpoint, but, you know, you take a kid, French-Canadian, who now living in America, playing professional hockey, able to communicate with his teammates all over a game on a sheet of ice and a rubber puck. It's
fascinating, too, talking to him. Some of you listening, you know, familiar with the different provinces in Canada might say, wait a second, I thought French Canada was only confined to Quebec. And you know, he said in New Brunswick, no, when his parents were growing up, it was a 70-30 split between speaking French and speaking English there, the majority favoring the French language, now more so 50-50 leaning towards English. But for him, he said, yeah, it was definitely an adjustment period, and hockey has completely expanded that horizon. Brennan overskated that loft pass. Gives off with O'Reilly. These two have had some trouble clearing. Chance at the point. Motor City works it. Good now pressure applied by Ballard. Deflected wide. A fight on the near boards. Motor City keep it in. Now whistles, and they're going to get a penalty. Manatitis, apoplectic, jawing at both officials.
He's going to get called for the cross-check, though. That's going to send Motor City to the power play for the first time tonight, where they needed 3 power play goals in last night's victory. So this next 2 minutes, huge for Delaware that's clawed back into this game. Give the Rockers credit, though. They've turned up the pressure here over the last 4 minutes. It's all been played in Delaware's end. And it's just been about winning puck battles and blocking, clearing attempts at the blue line. And they've done a great job, and it turned into a penalty.
Got to be refreshing for Gordy Brown and company with Motor City. Aside from those first 2 minutes, it had gone even until this game swung in the favor of Delaware. Thunder 70% on the penalty kill this season. Akima, quick shot, sticked away Martin. Now for Reeder. Drops off, deflected by Corgan. Motor City works these near boards again. Dropped off back and gloved by Martin, picking up that skipping shot.
It's a tough save. Everett Thompson providing a good screen in front despite the attempt of Basie to clear out that goal mouth from Martin. He just sticks that glove hand out and squeezes it for a stoppage of play with 1:27 left in the man advantage.
Fresh legs skate on for Motor City. Conway, Koash, Ian White, and Saffredini, this top defensive pairing in for Motor City. It's White who backstops at the blue line and keep it in the zone. Slotted across. He was trying to set up Koash's one-timer. It's Koash who gets it back. Works in the slot. Off the glove of Martin.
Good deflection in front there by Cade Lambden on that chance.
Moritz, a chance to clear. He does. It's just enough velocity to make that a tough play for Saffredini. 60 seconds remaining on the penalty. Saffredini with a head of steam. Works it into the zone. Drops off Conway. Wrister wide. Dump off. Finds the stick of JC. And a turn fluttering pass. Skates down the ice. Koash opts to shoot it. He had Lambden, but the sharp angle try, gloved by Martin.
Trevor Martin, I don't think we've talked enough about what he's done since he entered the game. You know, we had the 2 early goals for Motor City that ended Michael McHale's night, and Martin's come in and he's quietly stopped everything that's come his way. 2 quality chances here on this power play and 34 seconds left, keeping it a 2-2 game.
Roommate Alex Basie, the enforcer of this team, calls Martin the best goalie in the Federal Prospect Hockey League. Ganazov providing pressure up top. Martin does well to stop it. Still loose in front. Sticked away. Breakout for Gafarov. And he does well. Gets just enough mustard on that shot. Again, forcing Blake to put a glove on it.
Great work by Ballard down low when that puck was loose in skates to just get enough mustard on it to get it up to Gafarov at the blue line. And while most players on the penalty kill might just go ahead and dump that down the ice, he turned it into a scoring chance.
9 seconds remain on the power play. And this is where you want it if you're the Delaware Thunder. Waning seconds tick off. We return to even strength with a turnover in front of the boards. Allard release. Icing waved off on the deflection.
Trying to find Ballard there on that stretch pass at the end of that penalty. Just missed.
With Ballard in the zone, Marker could not make a play on that puck. But with his forechecking, again, just forcing these guys to take a seat, and that'll be a hook. Basie with some extracurriculars, shoving Lambden.
That's a tough. I mean, he clearly got a hold of him. He doesn't agree that it was a penalty, but the arm goes up, and then when he realizes it's on him, sees if he can get Lambden to maybe chip back and go to the sin bin with him, but it didn't work out. Back to the power play, go the Rockers.
Moritz tried deliberating briefly, did not work. It will be Alex Basie heading to the box. And there maybe just also a little bit of basic physics. Basie at 6 foot 220, and Koash 5'8", 180 pounds. The referee saw that he was roped down. 2 minutes for hooking for Basie. And back to the power play, go Motor City. That time, Thunder wastes no time clearing it all the way down the boards.
As they've done this period, another face-off win led to that clear.
Weber providing chase. Thompson and Gaudette enter the zone. Makima backside. Colton working with Reeder. It's Colton. Reeder at the opposite point. Space slotted across. Someone got a stick in front for Delaware. Oganezov could not get it out of the zone. A lot more force behind that snapper. Stick by Blake.
You know, halfway through the power play, you take that as a win if you're Delaware. A lot of zone time, no chances on Martin, and then you get the big clear.
Yeah, it was Colton who held on to it for quite some time without pulling the trigger. Koash, who drew the penalty, I should say. Knocked across White, slap shot, patted away by Barton.
Colton or Suffredini vacated his spot at the point there when White let that go and let that big rebound go all the way back to center.
Koash, breakout, Lambden. In front, shot scored! On the give and go, that goal poked home by Declan Conway. And after all that time, Motor City takes the lead back on the power play.
Watch the patience by Lambden here. He waits. Brennan takes him away from the net mouth, finds Conway on the doorstep wide open for an easy tap in to make it 3-2 Rockers. That's the struggle when you go to the power play. 70% kill percentage for Delaware this year is not great. They were able to dodge the bullet after the first penalty, but can't come away from this one unscathed. Rockers get the lead back 3-2.
A little bit of reverse psychology there, that goal too. You had just gotten finished making a point about how it was a very successful first 60 seconds of the penalty kill, and then everyone fell asleep. Now Cardinal giving chase, and smart play by Martin to keep that pad down by the post. That could have snuck in.
It's been a good night for Cardinal. Obviously he had the goal in the first period, but he's added some real good speed and pressure for the Rockers, setting up another chance there. Martin with the smart cover to get a face-off, knowing that a break was coming because they break every 5 minutes for, I guess, technically a TV timeout. But now he'll get his crew a chance to breathe before they get this offensive zone draw.
So a close-up on Trevor Martin, start skating over to the bench. Some knucks with McHale.
Hey, he's played well. I mean, obviously the Rockers just scored there, but you know that's the type of play. Your goaltender's got no chance. I mean, Conway's wide open on the doorstep. Perfect pass from Lambden. Again, I'm really impressed with the patience that Lambden showed, waiting for Brennan to give him just enough room to get that pass through the goal mouth to Conway, who we've talked about is another great scorer on this Rockers team. As I mentioned, he had a 29-goal season with Mentor just a couple of years ago. So he is one of the also veteran leaders on this squad, his 7th tally of the year.
Gordy Brown finishing talking things over with his squad. Back to even strength after that power play goal by Declan Conway. The only one allowed by Trevor Martin. Basie fresh off the penalty. Pressure applied. Koash wins it. That wrister misses everything. Fortuitous bounce to Basie. Susi lets it run. Marker couldn't catch up. Koash drops off. White and Suffredini knocking it across. Nice long stretch pass. Forces Martin to come well out. Tripped up, and he takes a spill. It'll be a delayed penalty. It looks like they're going to get Koash with a trip. Martin just trying to skate it off.
It's a good call, and luckily he seems like he's okay. Great athletic play by him, actually, to get out and kind of play that puck into the corner. Not sure what Koash was really thinking there, but definitely got his stick in the skates and can't do that. And now the Thunder have a chance to answer with a power play goal of their own with 3:31 to go. Motor City has really seemed to have gotten their legs here in the last 5 minutes or so after Delaware dominated the first 10 minutes of this period, but that could be all for naught if Delaware can knot things up here.
We were just lauding the goaltending ability of Trevor Martin there. maybe the skating a little shaky. Helped a bit that Koash got the stick in there as he went down to the ice. Susi fights for that puck. Gafarov calling for it. Across for Marker. Back in front. Another one-timer missed. That's twice now Marker has put pucks on a tee for teammates with an open net.
Yeah, Ballard got one that just off the heel of the stick. Now we're going to get another penalty. This one's going to be on
interference,
Delaware.
backhand, and we will go to 4-on-4.
Yeah, it's a good call. I mean, Motor City's looking to break out there at the blue line, and not sure if that was Susi who they're going to send off for that one. But held up the Motor City player from getting out of the offensive zone. Still turned into a scoring chance for the Rockers. And now we'll play 4-on-4 for the next 135. And then Motor City will have a 25-second abbreviated power play.
Not even 20 seconds into the power play. Susi gets tangled up. Susi, who leads this team with 66 penalty minutes, checks into the box, and also looks like we've got two players being checked for penalties at the moment as of right now. Susi, 29 up on the scoreboard.
And Austin Weber's getting a penalty as well.
As of now, that's what the scoreboard dictates.
It must have been on the rush from Koash. He got called for maybe a hook.
And that's what the men on the ice would suggest. Only 3 for Delaware. Regala out there, taking the face-off, Ballard. And those are the 3 tasked with killing a massive penalty. Up top. Over across. Rister knocked away by Martin. An incredible save, and Basie backstops.
Great job by Martin on the initial save, and Basie with the clear. And for Delaware to keep it loose in the neutral zone for another few seconds.
Tell you what, Pierre-Luc Ballard is not going to wow you with his stature, but he has made some big-time plays in the neutral zone.
Kind of guy I like to refer to as kind of a grinder. He's not a real scorer per se, although he will find his points, but as you said, he's doing a lot of the little things that make a difference.
Colton directing traffic. Across a slap into the gut. Ballard eats that one up right on cue. Just drops the stick and goes to a knee.
That's tough because that one stings. You can tell he's lost his stick as well. So they're already down on 4-on-3 on the power play, and now you got a man without a stick.
Yeah, Ballard stickless, laboring. Basie protecting that backside. Thought about going for the stick, and Martin picks him up. Saving that shot right into his gut, and an exasperated Pierre-Luc Ballard. We're going to get it someday. We're going to get it. All the guys call him PL, and I need to follow suit.
Okay.
Ballard, a much-needed and deserved rest as he heads to the bench.
Kind of surprising there. The Rockers didn't have any traffic in front of Martin. Fortuitous for Delaware. He's able to make that save and hold on for the faceoff.
White with space, hands off Suffredini. Back to White. Suffredini. Back to White. Open net. Pad save, Martin.
Great job to slide over and get the right pad on that one-time blast from the blue line from White. Trevor Martin has been outstanding tonight.
20 seconds of 5-on-3 for Motor City to push the lead back to 2. Suffredini, under 10 seconds remaining. Knocked away, still loose. And another big-time stop by Gafarov. Thunder successfully kills, still loose in front. Martin, another incredible save.
What a great kill by the Thunder, and now they've got numbers coming the other way. That's 10 years NHL experience showing Austin Weber what a professional hip check is. Great job by Ian White.
Yeah, he really stood up Weber into the boards. Still loose, though. Gafarov forces Blake to pad that one wide. Dumped in the neutral zone up ahead. Koash went off his skate inadvertently. Lucky break for Delaware. Numbers. Marker with him on and Titus. Rister Similar to that Susi goal, as Titus took a spill away from the puck, no interference.
Great pressure there by the Thunder, but watch out for Cardinal the other way.
Cardinal a goal already. Martin says you're not going to have two. He has really been standing on his head these past couple minutes.
He sure is. He's been outstanding since he entered the game. After Mikhail let in those 2 early goals, just the 1 tally for Motor City on the power play where he really had no chance. But the big pad save on the White shot during the 5-on-3, that was huge. And then the big clear as well for Basie off of that. Just a beautifully done penalty kill for the Thunder when they couldn't afford to fall behind by 2.
Official aided a rescued possession for Motor City there as we wind around 5 seconds remaining in the period. Thunder in the neutral zone. One last chance, Corgan. Horn sounds beforehand. No extracurriculars as both men head to the bench. And that'll do it for period number 2. Delaware gets 2 back. Motor City responds with another just before the break. And just as the first period came to a close, the same deal for the second. Susi looking to mix it up. We will take a step aside as both of these squads heading to their dressing rooms, and one more 20-minute period remains to separate these two squads. Last night, 6-3. Thunder keeping this one a lot tighter. You don't want to go anywhere. We've got highlights and plenty more to break down in just a moment. We're nearing December. The great news, again, just a couple more days closer to the shortest day of the year. Now, Gary, I don't know about you, but I, for one, am not a proponent of daylight savings. I love spending it right now on the ice rink because you forget that it was pitch black at 4:30.
Yeah, that's the part I struggle with. Like, I don't mind the sun coming up earlier in the morning. Like, I'm up early anyway. But yeah, the 4:30 in the afternoon feeling like 9 o'clock, that's no bueno for me.
Well, the offense for the Thunder woke up a little later, but really showed out in the second period. I mean, you watch all those chances created, and we talked a little bit about how you saw those first two opportunities, the misfires. Regala had one on a tee, missed it. You also saw a great setup by Corrigan slotting one across, and unable to put it home was Gafarov. And you thought, are those the two big chances that you look back on and think, we should have had it, that's the difference? And then they come back with 2 goals, Susie, in a matter of 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, but also what you'll see is Ryan Marker with the helpers on both of those goals. The first time with the cross ice setup in the offensive zone, Susie doesn't miss as he goes low blocker side. And then on the second goal, when Marker just on a clearing attempt, just kind of lofts it through the neutral zone, finds Ballard, ends up being a 2-on-1 with Susie, who doesn't miss. He buries it and evens the game up at 2. But that was really just cognizant of what happened in those first 10 minutes of that period. Delaware controlled the play. They won the puck battles. They forced the pressure in the Motor City zone, and that led to the scoring chances you talked about that they misfired on. But then the 2 goals and then several more there at the end of the second period. If I'm Coach Lou Santini, I'm super pleased with the effort of that team in the last 20 minutes.
And if you want a core group to really cheer on here in Harrington, Delaware, you look at what this current line is bringing you. This top line with Houston Wilson out, in P.O. Ballard doing the dirty work in the neutral zone and also making some nice passes on the offensive zone. And then the work of Susie cleaning up, and you talked about the table setter, Ryan Marker. Those 3 guys as a line really give you everything you want in a line unit. They all do different things. That makes it a very cohesive group.
Oh, without question. They all can light the lamp. There can be a sniper if you need them to, but all can puck handle. They've got great legs, speed through the neutral zone, able to set up chances. But for me, and when you watch Ryan Marker play, his ability to see the ice, to find those creases and those openings, to set up some, he had one to Austin Weber early in the period that Weber set into the netting as well. Just, he's got ice vision that not a lot of players have, especially at this level. So he's going to find some more openings here in the third period. The question is, are they going to miss or are they going to bury?
You look at the other side for Motor City. For Scott Blake, now, sure, it was only 2 minutes and change that McHale was in goal, and Martin subbed him out, and Martin has been rock solid since then. Blake on the other side has gone this entire contest. He's been between the pipes the whole time, and aside from the opening stages of the first period, he has faced a ton of shots.
He sure has. The barrage came on, late in that second period, and there must have been a conversation, as we talked about at intermission, about majority of the shots being above the waist, shoulder high, looking to beat him glove side. And you saw the Thunder take a different tact there in the second period. A lot more shots on the ice, low to the blocker side. That's where Susie beat him for the first goal. So he has had to stand on his head a little bit more in the second period than he did the first, but definitely a ton of pressure. And you see that in the shot totals. Delaware's 23 shots on goal to 27 for Motor City. The same time last night, the shot differential was 29 to 12. So Delaware's definitely stepped it up tonight.
And another way to look at how you can keep things rolling, though, if you are Motor City, the Rockers currently leading the shots, and you've also got a lot of young legs that can keep that going. You look around these ages, some of these guys, Cade Lambden, 23 years old, Elias Thompson, 24, Artem Alekin is 21 years old from Moscow, Russia. They've got plenty of guys who can go 60 minutes upon 60 minutes upon 60 minutes. You talk about the Thunder playing 3-4 games in a short amount of time. How does that wear and tear continue to build up entering the final 20?
It's going to be really the key to watch for in the first 10 minutes, because third game in 4 nights for the Thunder. Marker's going to be fresh. He hasn't skated in a bit, but has been keeping himself busy. He actually, not too long, about a month ago, played in the Roller Hockey World Cup down in South America. So he's continued to play, worked on the stick handling, keeping himself in shape. So I'm not worried about him. But when you look at the guys like Weber, Susie who's logged a lot of minutes tonight, one of the keys in the second period was the work of Amanatitis, who got a little bit of extra ice time. We saw Brendan O'Reilly in for a couple of shifts. So are those third-line guys going to get more opportunities early on in the third period to try to keep those legs fresh in the second half of the third? We'll have to see how Coach Lou Santini plays that.
you talked about the roller hockey, and that just sparked my mind about something we need to hit on, and it has to be the coolest niche activity that any guy out here on the ice do. And I am very partial to Motor City rocker Zachary Zolkanich from Kenai, Alaska. He participated in the Alaska Bratwurst eating contest from 2012 to 2016. In the spirit of all of us having 4, 5, 6 plates and needing to go up a couple pant sizes, that is the perfect activity for Zolkanich. Just 5'11", 200, but he clearly has the appetite.
He does, and I noticed that during pregame skate that looks like he could probably be, in an eating contest or two. I could never be a professional eater personally. As much as I love food, there's just something about the speed of it that I would be a total failure.
I'll tell you what, too, Center Ice Arena, they take good care of you over the concessions. You got popcorn, chicken, French fries, hot dogs, plenty of options, and you've also got plenty of great hockey to feast your eyes on for a final 20. We're going to have highlights on the other side of this break, but 20 minutes of hockey will be returning in just over 8 minutes and change. Can't wait to bring it to you. But first, highlights and this break. Here in Harrington, Delaware. Time to ride the Zamboni, and for the Thunder, an opportunity to ride some momentum into period number 3. And it all started with a couple of great goal-scoring chances in period number 2 as we roll those highlights for you folks. And it started with the missed opportunities that showed something.
Yeah, it was a great setup again by Ryan Marker. Just missed. Austin Weber there with a chance. Sends it into the netting behind the boards there. And you thought, oh, is it going to be one of those types of nights? But then Alex Soucy.
Yeah, Soucy would come up. Amanatitis shot blocked. And then that time a save was made initially. But Soucy knocking it home.
Johnny on the spot, followed the bouncing puck into the goal mouth. And he's able to hammer it home. Blake just unable to get his glove on it to secure that while it's in the air, but that got the Thunder on the board to make it 2-1.
And just when these fans got done celebrating goal number 1, Soucy in transition wasted no time, and he takes it himself with a wrist shot to tie things up.
Great 2-on-1 chance that emerged from a Ryan Marker clear, and Soucy goes low blocker side and Scott can't stop that one, and all of a sudden we're tied at 2.
Yeah, it was all high glove side, low blocker side, pays dividends for the Thunder. Then in transition, Conway, the smooth slot across, he put that one home. A great feed by Cade Lambden, and that was some of those fresh legs we were talking about. Conway short 27, but Lambden 23 years old and showing off the wheels to put some pressure on this back line for the Thunder and assist on the game-leading goal at the moment.
And then this was when Motor City had a man advantage, another big save by Trevor Martin late in the period to help keep it just a 1-goal game. Trevor Martin has been absolutely phenomenal since entering this game in relief.
He has been something to behold. Martin has stepped up in wake of McHale, who left this contest after giving up just those 2 goals. And, back to just playing game upon game upon game for McHale. Martin had not had a start since November 12th. It has been a while since he has done the net minding for a long portion of a game for the Delaware Thunder. He is back there and currently playing like the #1 goalkeeper, the Alberta native right now, stepping up, playing in his 8th pro league. Began his career in 2013, but right now at one of his finer games in recent memory. And Martin, a big reason why the Thunder remain down just 1. We will have third period action coming up for you folks. Just 20 more minutes to decide it. If the Thunder come out anything like they did in period number 2, it should be a good one. So don't go anywhere. We got quick commercials coming up, and afterwards, 20 more minutes to play here between Delaware and Motor City on the Delmarva Sports Network. It should be a good one. These two squads also left on a little chippy note there. It was all the officials talking to Alex Basie, a co-captain of this group, and just trying to sort things out as both sides were looking to mix it up a little bit at the end there. Penalties really started to tick up towards the end of that second period. A couple calls against the Thunder, resulting in that goal number 3 for Motor City. Meanwhile, Susie doing some skating around. You get another look at these stats here as well. 3 goals to 2 for the Rockers. The penalties also favoring the Rockers. They have had a number of opportunities in the power play. But one thing to note, it has been a number of 4-on-4 opportunities. So while you got the penalties there, sure, Only a couple of them have come on an actual man advantage, one of which, a 5-on-3, the Thunder successfully killed, but an ensuing penalty, a hook that was called against Delaware, resulted in a goal. Millard comes away with it to start things off, and that shot over the shoulder. Scott Blake returns in net for Motor City.
We talked about P.L. Ballard there throughout the late portion of the second period, and right off the opening draw comes up with a huge chance.
Big time hit Susie.
Well, Susie was the one that was upset at the end of the second period, not sure with who or exactly why, but he brings the Thunder there on a huge hit.
See what you did there.
Yeah.
Koash in transition, knocked away by Aganazov. Nifty dribbling, and he backhands that one off the pad of Martin.
Nice patience there by Austin Weber. Able to clear the zone. Goes off Ian White, so no icing here.
Whitey tracks it down. Stretch pass ahead, Roman Gaudette with Thompson. Overskates the puck. Bouncer in front made it way more difficult than it had to be was Moritz. There was not much behind that shot.
It's one of those hindsight just 2020 sort of deals. He'd have been better served just letting that puck get to Martin. Instead, Gaudette with a spinning backhand chance, and Trevor's got to make a good save.
The 6'5" defender, a captain, and looked at for his leadership qualities. Santini saying he can really rally the younger guys to establish themselves. It makes sense for Moritz, just a couple years out of Newman University in Philadelphia.
Corgan getting kicked out of the face-off circle.
Gives way to Gafarov. That puck knocked to the point to Sufferdini. White, and a bouncer in front, redirection scored. Second goal of the game for Cardinal, and Motor City regains a 2-goal lead.
Ian White in on the play again as you get ready for the replay here. His shot from the point gets deflected in front. Initially, I thought Martin's going to cover the rebound here, but it gets loose, and Cardinal backhands it home, makes it a 2-goal lead for Motor City. Exactly what the Thunder didn't want early in this period. They got off, they got a quick jump, wanted to continue to kind of control the play. Good job by Motor City off of a face-off win.
23-year-old Cardinal with experience in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, one of the top 3 leagues in Canada. 2 goals already.
Yep, gives him 5 on the year. He's another one of those players. I mean, we talked about the leadership of this fledgling organization, but talented players. That gives them now 7 players with at least 5 goals this year.
Beginning of period 3, eerily reminiscent to the first.
Delaware needs an answer, and an answer quick.
Across, that puck was left free to go to Makima. Loose in front. Some nice skating by Amanatitis. Just to stick with it.
Tough shift for Aloyan. He fanned on 2 clearing chances and then can't handle that breakout pass.
Now a tangle at the blue line. Arms stay down for the officials.
Lucky to avoid a call there. That easily could have been interference or a trip.
Overskating the puck goes Noyes. Wrister, and Martin keeps that one just out. Another shot goes wide. A big hit into the boards. Now a jump over. Very athletic play by Lambden. Koash, Wrister into the chest. Martin can't squeeze it.
All that energy that we saw from Delaware at the start of period number 2 has seemed to have gone by the wayside as Motor City is just dominating play here at the beginning of the period, and now we get a whistle. Delayed offside. Oh. Bench minor called against Delaware. Referee didn't like something that was being said to him off the bench there, and that's going to send Motor City back to the man advantage.
Third goal of the contest for Motor City came on the power play. The Thunder will return to the kill.
And it's been a penalty kill that has struggled throughout the year. Huge kill on that 5-on-3 there in the second period. But as you mentioned, another penalty was drawn, and they weren't able to keep Motor City off the board there. Crucial that they do it over this 2-minute stretch.
Veteran squad right now for the kill. Susi, a big hit on Reeder into the boards. Those two exchange words. Basie mixing it up on the far boards. Puck deflected wide and up into the netting. We'll have a face-off.
Susi and Reeder continue to exchange words. That was kind of a high hit right at the end of where the plexiglass comes into play there with the bench. Sort of a dangerous play in Ritter's eyes. Susi's had his ire up since late in the second period. We'll see what develops from there.
Marker knocked that right to Reeder. Goes in behind. Now into the slot. Makima. Short side. Thrown in front. Martin stays on top of the puck somehow. And awarded possession by the referee.
It's a good job by Martin to stand tall while Ethan Thompson is just kind of barreling into him, hoping that the puck comes free. Strong hands by Martin to keep that covered up. 1:25 left in the man advantage.
A lidless Thompson skates over to the bench. Fresh skates back onto the ice. White, Koash, Lambden, Conway, and the other defender. That same line has been so good, those two pairings. You've got another member of Motor City down. It's Lambden.
It's like he might have either got the puck to the face or inadvertently took a stick to the face, but no call.
Stays out there. White controls. Inside, back up top. Koash. Across. One-timer off the glass.
Beautiful setup. Conway just high and wide with the shot.
Koash, a little too much lift, but Basie knocks it right back to him. Seferdini over for White. Options. Koash scored! Off the water bottle. Koash, goal number 5 for Motor City. Biggest lead of the night for the Rockers.
It's a beautiful prototypical power play here. You'll see from circle to circle, and Koash, Martin doesn't even realize he has the puck before that is let off his stick, and then it's top corner, and it's 5-2 Motor City. And this is sort of indicative of this 7-game losing streak for the Thunder. It's been aside from the game in Elmira Wednesday night, it's a competitive game, and then in a 4 or 5 minute stretch, it could get out of hand, and that's what's happened so far early in this third period.
And I think that Lou Santini can sense that as well. Timeout called by the Thunder.
And Susi continuing to have words, that time with the other Thompson on Motor City. That's Elias Thompson, almost as if they were maybe having a peaceful conversation. It didn't seem as heated as the one with Ritter earlier.
Well, if there were warring intentions, that would be quite the heavyweight bout. Susi, 6'2", 200 pounds, and Thompson has him by 223. He's got him by 23 pounds, also standing at 6'2" from Watoma, Wisconsin.
It is a little interesting that there hasn't been a little bit more chippiness in this game. In my experience in these back-to-back games series, usually night number 2, there's a little bit of pent-up aggression from something that happened the previous night, etc. We haven't seen a lot of that, but if the game continues in this direction, I wouldn't be shocked if that comes to fruition.
Our bratwurst contest eating hero tracks it down on the far boards. So Kanich gives way to the Thunder. Tripped up by the puck. Thompson picks it up. Lavallee was looking for numbers. That puck works its way back to Martin.
This is almost going back to what the game looked like in its first 7 or 8 minutes. Motor City just controlling the play. Delaware having trouble getting out of their own zone, not being able to get passes on the tape to each other. There's another deflected pass there to center. Marker's able to pick it up, but then he immediately gets poke checked. So Delaware's got to find their legs here.
Akima flies into the zone. Martin has to go to the opposite side. Ballard, nifty move. Eye-hand coordination just wasn't there. Corrigan crashes, gloved away. Nice work by Vanderweel. Basie dumps off for Weber behind. Vanderweel in transition. Scoops it beyond half where it's picked up. Martin comes well out of goal that time and has to scramble back. O'Reilly fighting for the puck on the earboards.
At this point, I mean, Delaware just can't get enough sustained pressure. You know, this time it looks like they're just trying to dump and chase. That didn't work out well. Motor City's done a good job of standing up at the blue line here in the third period, kind of preventing those entry passes. We saw Bullard try to make a nifty move. That just goes off his stick. Things just a little off for the Thunder here in the third period.
Nearly 6 minutes gone by in period number 3. And how crucial was that third goal for Motor City? It came in the waning minutes of period number 2, a second penalty back-to-back awarded, taken by Delaware, awarded to Motor City, putting the Rockers on the power play. That made it 3-2. And then, as we said, this period number 3 starting oh so similar to the first. These two breaks, much needed. They're going to make or break this contest for the Thunder.
Without question. Specialty teams is always something that coaches will talk about. It reared its ugly head for Delaware in the second period and then early here in the third. And it's different. You know, if you're taking a penalty because of effort, that's one thing. But when you get a penalty because of something you said on the bench, that's a little bit tougher for a coach to swallow.
Face-off win for Motor City. Magala misses on the check. Opposite point, well wide of goal, tracked down Amanatitis. Can't catch up with O'Reilly. Well, he's just beyond half, no icing. Lost check in front, into the boards, a huge collision, delayed penalty. Reeder able to keep it alive, now falls in the skate, knocked wide. This will come against the Thunder. Another penalty. They're going to get a slash against Delaware.
It's like Brendan O'Reilly's going to go to the box. Now Brendan wants to take somebody with him, but I don't think Coash is going to play with him. Suffrandini doesn't want to go. Brendan O'Reilly hasn't had a ton of ice time tonight. Trying to make the most of it there.
Yeah, O'Reilly lauded for his ability to play the North-South game by Santini. Good on the boards, physical, a great attitude on the ice and off. And there his attitude said, I'm going to leave this ice with a fight with someone.
Yeah, no takers for Motor City. And that play started, it was a big hit on Casey Noyes right in front of the bench. And as out of that, O'Reilly took a slash onto one of the Rockers, and now he's in the penalty box. And Motor City wants to put this game away. Scored on each of their last two power plays. Looking to make it a trifecta here, which would give them a 4-goal lead.
Motor City scored 6 last evening here in Harrington. Coash with a head of steam. Dumps off Conway. Suffredini. Coash across the white. Coash up top, space in the slot, low shot, and sticked away by Ballard.
Nice save there by Martin. Probably a little bit of a bigger rebound than he'd like to see, but it came right to the stick of marker for the clear.
Thompson with numbers. Into the zone, across. A miss hit, still loose. Martin on all fours.
And that crossing pass was just behind Gaudet. Would have been a better chance if it was on the tape.
Colton for Thompson. Wants to catch up with Makima, short corner. It's back to Makima. Defers to Colton. Walks on in. Sprawling stop more. It stays in the zone. Reeder for an open Thompson. Sharp angle try. Martin gets a body on it. Loose. The backhand knocked off the skate of Moritz. He gets some knucks from Martin.
Well,
Great work by those two to keep it out.
Moritz played two really nice plays there. First, breaking up the pass that he just couldn't get back to clear the zone, and then getting that right foot down to block that shot into the rafters. Another nice play. Keeping this a 3-goal game with 29 ticks left in the man advantage.
So 29 seconds remaining on the penalty kill. Referee is just getting that Thunder goal squared away and back onto its hinges. Manatitis beats Koash on the faceoff. Morgan tracks it down. Goes easy on White as that puck is saucered across. In front. On the board, Suffredini going at it with Basie. Waning seconds of the power play. Thunder, a chance to kill. Across for White. Shot, and a save by Martin. We were screened up here just watching it. You couldn't have hit any better if you're Suffredini. Unbelievable sprawling stop by Martin.
Yeah, Koash can't believe it that Martin was able to get across and then get his glove back to the opposite post and make that save. But that's the way Trevor Martin's been playing tonight. You know, in the stat sheet, it's going to show he's let up 3 goals. And you're going to say, that's a little too much. But the quality of chances he's faced could have been double that.
Another save, and again, this game, win or lose for Delaware, has been the epitome of how this season's gone for Trevor Martin. The goals against not indicative of his performance in the goal. Opportunity in transition. Alekin.
Tell you what, if nothing else, if you don't come away from this game as a P.L. Ballard fan, you're not a true hockey fan. He's done all the little things, just missed on that huge hit attempt there in the Delaware zone.
He has been skating with a ferocity. And no stranger to lowering a shoulder whenever possible. Thompson at his seam opted with a sharp angle try. Brennan over to Ballard. Kept alive, nifty pass by Lakin and sticked up into the netting by Regala.
You know, Ricky Regala's a guy that's had some good minutes tonight for Delaware as well. You know, he had one really primo scoring chance that he missed off the heel of his stick. Also had a nice rush there in the second period that turned into a scoring chance and has played pretty well in the back line.
Brendan cools the puck. Hands off with a head of steam. Gafarov gets by 2 defenders, dumps it into the zone looking for Weber. Now bouncer in front. That's just patted in the netting up by Scott.
You know, Gafarov makes a great run through the neutral zone to set Delaware up with a chance there. Not a lot on that shot from Muvali, but there was a bit of a screen in front by Scott's defenseman, so a little more trouble seeing that than he probably expected, but got the paddle on it, was able to send it out of play.
Getting some fist bumps from some teammates. He has really settled down nicely as well in goal for Motor City after those chances. These goals have come in flurries for both teams. Barking out instructions over on that sideline for the Motor City Rockers, the aforementioned Gordy Brown. But his netminder, you got to be pleased for what you gotten tonight. You know, you see 2 quick goals from Susi in that second period. Otherwise, he's made the stops he's needed to.
Yeah, I mean, there's not been a ton of high-quality chances for Delaware, but he certainly made some stellar saves in the first period to keep the Thunder off the board. And, you know, like you said, that minute barrage there from Susi in the second period. But since then, you know, give Motor City credit. It looked like they were on their heels for a good portion of that second period. Those penalties really kind of turned the tide for them, and they've really dominated play pretty much ever since midway through the second, and it's continued here in the third.
Another sign of just how impressive this young program Motor City has been in its inaugural season. Yeah, Trevor Babin just called up to the SPHL after last night's performance, and you plug in another netminder, he's done awfully well. Marker loses it.
Just missed a chance to get a 2-on-1 there with Susie. The puck just rolls right off his stick. Sort of indicative of the way the night's gone for Delaware thus far.
With Marker a chance for the breakaway, that was really the hallmark save of the evening made by Blake Scott. And his ability to stop that on the backhand was the best that we've seen from either goaltender.
And it was a huge momentum shifter, too. Delaware was just kind of getting their legs there in that first period. And if Marker could have cashed that in, this place would have erupted, could have really kind of turned things in the opposite direction there late in the first. But you're right, stood on his head, made a huge paddle save.
Got to say, Alex Bassey's also been tamed this evening. Last night, a big-time bout, a fight that went for 25, 30 seconds. Another shot loose in front for Marker. I haven't seen anyone mix it up thus far with 8 minutes to play.
No, I was curious if we were going to get a Bassey-Elias Thompson rematch, because that was a good one from last night if you weren't here at the Thunderdome or didn't catch the broadcast. So there is still 8 minutes to go. If this lead remains where it is, I want to give the fans a little something before things are over here.
That cry into the near boards. Kept alive by J.C. Mortz. Gafarov. And Scott will just put a glove on it.
Almost like an unintentional shot there that just kind of rolled in on goal. Scott with the cover-up. I think there were a couple of members of the Thunder that for some reason thought that was in.
Yeah, a number of index fingers pointing towards the near post. Corrigan's adamant that puck was in the net as well.
I did not see the light come on. There's a goal judge back there behind the boards. And now conversing with the referees. And it is a goal.
A good goal for the Thunder. How about that?
Wow.
So it was Corrigan in front. We're going to get another look. He's going first in the handshake line.
What looked like such an innocent play as that puck just kind of squirted towards the net.
Yeah, we're gonna take another look at this replay as well. It was a shot that, again, just kind of floated in to see what would happen.
The only thing I can imagine is that maybe if Scott thought his skate, there's a little bit of an opening there between the post and his pad. And his skate's a little bit deep there behind the goal line, and it must have just snuck in. And now, of course, the whole puck's got to be across that red line. That goal judge has the best view in the house. He said he saw the puck was in, and that gets the Thunder kind of back in this game, making it 5-3 with 7:39 to go.
Yeah, almost that feeling for Blake Scott, you forget your homework. You make the save. At least you thought you made the save, but you don't have the puck. And you're looking around thinking, oh, hopefully I get up and it's in my pads. And sure enough, it was in the net, given the benefit of the doubt initially, but great eyes by that referee behind the goal.
And good work by the officiating crew. Talk it out with the goal judge, make the right call on the ice, which is what it's all about.
In the second period, after the first goal scored by the Thunder, you saw a huge uptick in chances. Will the same be true here? Ballard takes an elbow to the face at center ice. Bassey extends his arm, wanting a penalty, no call.
That was Gaudette that got the elbow up in Ballard's grill. Motor City was able to take possession of the puck, and now they'll clear it through center, but Bassey retrieves.
And if you are going to see the likes of Bassey go at it with a member of Motor City, he'll likely be standing up for Ballard, who has taken his fair share of pops all over the place.
Yep. Gaudette just gave him another shot, and I think he's going to go off for this one.
Yeah.
I mean, Ballard's nowhere near the puck. I'm not sure why Gaudette is shaking his head there. That's pretty clearly an interference. But again, it's PL Ballard keeping the legs working, doing the little things, draws a penalty there. 6:52 left. If the Thunder could score and get within one, now we got a fun last quarter of the third period to look forward to.
And the seemingly endless energy of Pierre-Luc Bellard. He returns to take this face-off on the power play. The 6'4", 228-pound Gaudette heads to the box.
Good keep by Weber, but just couldn't complete that pass to Gafarov, and Motor City's able to clear it down.
Picked up by Marker. Gafarov dropped off for Weber. That pass, those two just could not link up.
Yeah, you've got to hit that pass. Gafarov was behind Weber, and now they have to start to rush over again.
30 seconds gone by in the power play. No shots for Delaware. A gotta-have man advantage. Susi just could not get enough stick on it, but Scott forced to cover up.
Get the offensive zone draw. Ballard's pass for Susi just a little bit too far out in front. Alex was able to get just enough wood on that puck to get it towards Blake for the cover-up.
Makima and Ballard. Ballard wins a face-off. A quick try. Knocked around to Marker. Dumped in near side. Now it's picked up far boards Gafarov. Ballard at the point. Puck took a deflection. Marker did well to track it down. Susi lets it run. Receives it back. Plays it off the skate. And caught up at the boards where Gafarov picks it off. Has Ballard top of the key. Knocked away in front. Ballard cannot keep it in the zone. Great defending by Makima.
Good pressure there by Delaware, but unable to get any good quality chances on net, even though they had a lot of possession time.
Hand off Regala. No communication that time, but finds Basie. Great work to knock that out of the air by Thompson. Now a breakout. Marker, the slap shot, took a deflection and went wide. Breakout shorthanded. Thompson picks it up. Martin gloves it.
End-to-end action here with the man advantage. Marker with the shot that I think got deflected just a bit. Ended up going wide. Motor City gets it right back down the other way. Thompson with a break. Just had a little more energy in the tank, it appeared, because that was a long shift for that Thunder power play unit. But what a beautiful glove save by Trevor Martin on that backhand. TV timeout comes at a good time for the Thunder. 3 seconds left in the man advantage. Chance to catch their breath. You're likely going to see Marker, Ballard back out here, Susi as well, to try to get one last rush before we get back to even strength.
I appreciate the courtesy from Delaware Thunder, if only we're true to the name, right?
Right.
Now, since we do keep it here, what are some adjustments if you are Lou Santini? Now, I wouldn't say adjustments this late in the game, but some things that you can do to make a game. But the quick goal puts you in striking distance.
Right.
Now, 2 goals, it's not insurmountable, and you still got nearly 5 minutes to do it.
Now, I think 2 things. You've got to win the faceoffs, especially in your own zone, and then crisp passes to break out so that you can try to set up either your dump and chase or your cycle game in the Motor City zone, just like that one right there to Marker. Now he'll dump it deep, and now Weber's got to get possession.
Ends up on the stick of Basie. As we return to even strength, Koash wanted to make a break. It was kept down, though, by Clouston. Marker couldn't find it. He could have had a breakaway.
Just behind him, that would have been a huge rush for the Thunder faithful. Instead, Basie's got to regroup.
Drops off for Marker.
Good stick check there by Thompson.
And Koash does the rest to dump it back deep into the Thunder zone.
Down to 4 minutes to go here.
Gafarov evading checks. Rister cannot be stopped initially, but Scott pounces on it.
Nice rush by Gafarov there to get a decent chance in the slot. Corgan now getting mixed up with Ethan Thompson. You're getting the offensive zone draw that you want. The key here, obviously, win the faceoff and see if you can get a quick scoring chance off of a draw win.
Both these squads next game against each other. They swap places, however. They head to Michigan. Be on December 2nd. So if you want to get your money's worth, you still have time for any of these guys looking to mix it up on the ice.
Another big face-off win by Ballard. Mavali's shot goes just wide.
Yeah, Scott never saw that puck. Now some hustle by Mavali to track it down. Susi giving chase. They're just trying to expand the ice. Cardinal looking for the hat trick, pushes it wide.
He's had himself an excellent evening for the Rockers. Another good scoring chance there. It's interesting, too, though. Like, I don't feel like he's been on the ice a ton, but when he has, he's had some excellent chances.
Regala with the wrister. Popped up. Scott lost that one in the lights. Dropped off slap shot. Moritz into the side of Thompson. Where's a grimace? The attack rages on.
Yep, great sliding block by Thompson. Leads to an odd man rush for Motor City, but that shot goes wide.
Weber with the head of steam. Leaves off, slotted across and off the pad of Scott.
Nice job by him to break up the pass there. You know, you asked with about 5 minutes left, what do you want to see the Thunder do? They've done those things. Won faceoffs, created some offensive zone pressure. The one thing they haven't been able to do is get some real quality shots in on the goaltender. They've had a couple of sort of fanned shots, a slow backhander, and then that one just kind of a crossing pass that he was able to deflect out of play.
Marker unable to win that face-off battle. Stretch pass, Conway. Trying to put the moves on. Doing well. Aganazov has had a number of nice one-on-one stops.
He sure has, and a nice back check, too, by Austin Weber.
Sets it up to Marker. Gets his rebound back. Sharp angle, no luck. Motor City on the break with Conway. Lambden with Koash off the shoulder of Martin, and that goes up into the face. And Lambden looked to catch something earlier, and that time a puck right to the face.
Yep, great save by Trevor Martin, and Aganazov just trying to clear the zone, and Lambden caught that one square in the grill. Of course, he had that beautiful assist on the Motor City's third goal on the power play there in the second period. Looks to be okay, but man, you know that's smarts. I don't know if you've ever held a puck in your hand, and then as it plays, it gets frozen. If you've been hit with a snowball, multiply that by like 25 or so.
I was going to say, either this guy's playing NHL and E for everyone, or his face is made of stone, because this guy has taken multiple tough blows out in the rink, and it's been all right both times. Oganezov into the zone, free shot on goal. Picked up by Susi. Two of the Thunder's 3 goals, both of those coming in the second. The Thunder almost got caught with 6 men on the ice right there, because it was a chance for Martin to get off the ice. They were sending someone on. Delaware lucks out. The clock, though, down to 90 seconds. That wrister into the gut, and this will give an opportunity for Martin to head to the bench and get a 6th skater on for Delaware.
Well, this tact did not work out well for the Thunder last night, as Motor City was able to add an empty netter that made it 6-3. Huge thing. I mean, you know, if you could score here in the next 27 seconds and all of a sudden it's a 1-goal game with a minute left, then there's, you know, you're thinking a realistic chance of coming back. But as we've talked about since midway through the second, the key is the face-off win. The guy you want in the circle is Ballard.
Ballard not victorious, and Lambden knocks it down to Conway. Empty net beckons. Aganezov stops it, and now it's chased down by Ballard. Marker, check that, Corgan doing it himself. Susie behind the net, dumps it off. Dropped in front of Conway, who could not track it down. He sprawls onto his stomach. Basie at the point. Down low, Susie. The captain has it deflected. Open net, the shot, and the goal from Koash. Back-to-back nights of 6-3 play for Motor City.
Yeah, I mean, just an excellent defensive play in their own zone. You know, the Thunder's got the extra attacker, and they try to get a pass to the point from down below the goal line. Koash is able to deflect it, retrieve it, and then shoot it 3/4 of the ice for the empty net tally that makes it 6-3.
Koash's goal going to start ushering the Thunder faithful here at Center Ice Arena to the exits.
This is his 9th goal of the season.
And even aside from the points, Koash's skating ability has done wonders for the Motor City offense, both last evening and today.
Yeah, absolutely. Doesn't have the size of the 88 that his jersey will bring to mind for you if you're a hockey fan of Eric Lindros, but definitely some of the puck handling and stick skills and skating as far as his speed goes that Eric brought to the table.
Makama across. Motor City thinking about adding on as Makama works it in with the wrist shot. Stopped by Martin. Tried for the quick give and go. We'll have a face-off here in the Thunder zone.
Brendan O'Reilly is really trying to get somebody to go with him. Give a shot in the back to Makama. Ethan Thompson's out there. Now he's chatting it up with Gaudette.
Yeah, aside from J.C. Moritz, that's the biggest guy in the ice. Clearly, O'Reilly just wants to get it going with someone. Final face-off noise. Makama follows Gordon into the boards, as that'll do it here at Center Ice Arena. A 6-3 victory for the Motor City Rockers as they take 2 of 2 in Harrington, Delaware against the Thunder. That'll do it for the game. But we've got post-game highlights to show you folks and a couple more segments to break down here at Center Ice Arena. We got plenty more coming up after this. So now what? the season. They get a couple more points there. Meanwhile, the Thunder now dropped to 1-11-1. Tim Nolan with you alongside Gary Schofield here in Harrington, Delaware. Thank you so much for being with us for portions or the entirety of this contest. And, you know, if you tuned in for the second period, you wouldn't know what kind of struggles have plagued the Thunder because that offense was simply on fire, creating chance after chance. And you got to feel like that's the key moment you hang your hat on going forward.
I think you have to, and I'm sure that's what Coach Santini is talking to his guys about. But that has been the storyline of this season. That's their 8th straight loss, and just not enough of that type of hockey. There's been way too much of what the third period looked like. Outshot 19-8. Zone time in the third period, I'm sure, was better than 2-1 in favor of Motor City, and just too many quality chances on their goaltender, whether it would be McHale in the first 2 minutes of the game or Trevor Martin throughout the rest of the game. Got to find a way to more consistently play the way you did and with the style that you did in that second 20 minutes than what we saw for pretty much the other 40.
For the Thunder, what possibly awaits is a much-needed trip well beyond the East Coast. You get to head, I mean, sure, they've gone to upstate New York, but now you get to head to Fraser, Michigan. You take on Motor City Rockers at their place. Change of scenery could possibly flip the script.
Well, you would think, and, you know, I think also we forget, you know, the season's only 2 months old, really. And aside from a short 10 to 14-day camp before the season starts, a lot of these guys are still getting to know each other, still trying to find chemistry. You throw Ryan Marker into the mix, who just joined the team today. Where does he fit in? You know, we saw him play with Ballard, a little bit with Austin Weber today. Maybe he and Susie are more of a pair, and they'll get to play more together. So a couple of days of practice this week, then the long trip out to Michigan. Maybe they can start making some strides to play more like that middle 20.
Yeah, those two really showed some glimpses, and we're going to have all of that for you folks coming up in just a moment. We're going to have highlights from the entirety of this game coming up in just a moment here from Harrington, Delaware. Don't go anywhere. One last segment to get through here on the Delmarva Sports Network following Motor City's 6-3 win over the Thunder. On the Delmarva Sports Network of your Thanksgiving weekend. Alongside Gary Schofield, Tim Nolan with you here at the Center Ice Rink in Harrington, Delaware. And look, Second period, you look at that, and we talked about the positives you can take away from it. We're going to show you some of those highlights from this contest where the Thunder really picked it up there in that middle 20 of play. It started off all Motor City. True to the name, they took off to the start, that engine whirring early, and some quick chances in the first 2 minutes.
Well, and then both of these opening goals, I mean, Michael McHale has basically no chance. Makama there on the opening goal you saw, and then Tommy Cardinal got his night off to a great start, stashing another one home. That quickly made it 2-0 Motor City because the defense just couldn't find their feet in the first 2 minutes of the period.
Yeah, that second goal scored by Cardinal, and McHale would get the very, very early pull right after this save. So McHale makes the stop into his stomach. He would not return after that, would be on the bench the rest of the time. And from then on, we saw Trevor Martin, and that seemed to really flip the script for Delaware. The chances started to come in on the offensive end. Marker's shot would be saved, but the offense would pick up, and it started with some chances that were missed.
Yeah, these two power play opportunities in the second period, Weber and Regala, who sent the puck into the netting as opposed into the net after beautiful passes.
And then Amanda Titus says that shot saved. Another odd man rush, and you figured at one of these times it has to be the goal. Susi pots it in after Marker put it on net.
Yeah, just to follow the bouncing puck sort of play. You know, Blake tried to catch that puck out of the air. It bounces right in the slot. Susi, Johnny on the spot, knocks it home. Got the Thunder within one.
Gets the Thunder within one, and then they just keep on pushing. This time, Susi get Johnny on the spot, do it all, and he gets it home. That would tie this one up at 2 in the second.
P.L. Bullard and he on a 2-on-1 after Ryan Marker lofted a clearing attempt through the neutral zone, and Susi didn't miss, went low blocker side. That tied the game at 2, and all of a sudden the Thunderdome was rocking.
How about the celebration? But it would be short-lived because on that shot across, the dive, the slide, whatever you want to call it, it wasn't enough as that was put home by Conway.
That was beautiful patience by Lambden here. Watch him wait for the defender to slide. Then he makes a beautiful pass to Conway, who slams it home. They made it 3-2 Motor City. After a 5-on-3 penalty was killed, they couldn't overcome that power play.
Yeah, and the Rockers could have headed to the break once again up 2 goals, but Martin, he was playing out of his mind at times, getting that blocker across, and that pad somehow makes the stop.
Yeah, it was one of a number of how did he do that types of saves Trevor Martin had throughout the night.
So Martin with a big stop to send us to period number 3. Last 20 minutes of play, chances for the Thunder, and this one eerily similar start to period number 1.
Yeah, and it just continued that way. Motor City came out with the legs churning, created a bunch of offensive zone chances, got a power play after a bench minor that led to Koash's first goal. That made it 4-2, and then pretty much the route was on from there after Koash stashes that goal after the Aloyan power play or penalty, which put the Thunder on their heels. They tried to get back into it. They had some offensive pressure, but they just couldn't solve Scott in the third period.
Yeah, that was a big goal that was there in the short corner. It looked like it ended up being credited to Chris Corrigan, who just kind of threw it on net, hoped for the best, and Blake Scott couldn't find it. Lost it in his pads, ends up in the back of the net.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you think, the Thunder might have a chance. They pull the goaltender down to with a minute and a half to go. Koash does a nice job to break up a crossing pass and is able to bury it from 3/4 length of the ice, and here's where we are at 6-3 final.
Yeah, mind you, when it was 5-3 on that sharp angle try by Corrigan, 7.5 minutes left there. You still have plenty of time to go, but for the Thunder, just too little, too late. And you look on the other end for this attack. We talked about it going into period number 3 during the intermission. Some of these fresh legs that you got for Motor City, and you pair that with the experience, the likes of an Ian White, the way that those guys played together, this is a unit really peaking at the right time early.
Yeah, you've got to give Motor City their due. I mean, we were wondering if they would be fatigued in that third period. They didn't. Suffredini, Colton, Gaudette, who played a lot of pivotal minutes there in the third quarter. But then, you're led by your guys like Conway. Tommy Cardinal had a pair of goals tonight. Motor City just might be the real deal in that division. And if Columbus and Carolina aren't careful, everybody thinks they're the cream of that Continental Division. I think Motor City is here to say, hey, wait, we might be in our first year, but we'd like to see the postseason as well.
Yeah, ahead of Carolina, albeit on more games, but I mean, you look at what they've brought to the table so far, Gary. I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to stay atop that Continental Division. Meanwhile, for the Thunder, I mean, you look at a game like this again. It's taken away the positives while also knowing the result. You see the scores, you see how many points you are, you see how the standings work their ways out. But what is the one thing that you can absolutely hang your hat on this now, going and knowing that you're heading to Fraser, Michigan, playing the same team in a week?
I think the one thing you can hang your hat on is you've got your goaltending figured out. Trevor Martin is the real deal between the pipes. You've got the playmaking ability in Ryan Marker. It's just a matter of how does he fit into the puzzle with the rest of the pieces you have offensively. And then how do you just tighten up in the defensive end? Try to get those pucks cleared a little bit crisper through the neutral zone. They'll be working on that the next 4 days. But they've got some pieces they can build on to try to get this thing turned around.
Well, Gary, that'll do it for us here in Harrington, Delaware at Center Ice Rink. We want to give a huge thank you to our cameramen, Trey Beckett, Ben Mambrino, spending their Thanksgiving weekend with here in Harrington, to our producer, Alex Brownstein, to our director, Noah Carter, for making this all possible. For Gary Schofield, I'm Tim Nolan saying so long from Harrington. Tune in next Saturday. We got more Thunder hockey coming up for you 2 weeks from now. Take care.